Good morning, student. Today in theme 13, Mahatma Gandhi and the Nationalist Movement, we will start our next topic, Civil Disobedience Movement. This is the second very large or the mass movement started by the Gandhiji. This is the Civil Disobedience Movement. For several years after the non-cooperation movement ended, Mahatma Gandhi focused on his social reform work. In 1928, he began to think of re-entering politics. That year, there was an all India campaign in opposition to all White Simon Commission sent from England to inquire into the condition in the colony. In your junior classes, you already read about the Simon Commission. Okay, in this commission, they all the members of this commission were the Britishers. So the all the Indians they were boycott this commission. Okay, that one known because the head of this commission was the Simon, so that one called the Simon Commission. Okay, and all here you see in this picture also the Simon Commission go back, the Simon go back, all these were the peoples also started the marches against the Simon Commission. Okay, Gandhiji did not himself participate in this movement. Although he gave it his blessing, he, as he also did to a peasant satyagraha in Bardoli in the same year. So Gandhiji on that time he was not participated in this movement, but he did some work. He did the work for the or start the satyagraha for the peasant in the Bardoli in same year. Now we are talking about Lahore session and the Purna Swaraj. Now this topic is again very important for 1 marks questions also. In the end of the December 1929, the Congress held its annual session in the city of Lahore. The meeting was significant for two things: the election of the Jawaharlal Nehru as a president signify the passing of the baton of leadership to the younger generation and the proclamation of commitment or to Purna Swaraj or complete independence. So now this was the first time when the very young person also appointed or elected as the president of the Indian National Congress. And the second thing that this session, this Lahore session was very important because in this time they decided now we were start fight, okay, for the Purna Swaraj or the complete independence. On 26 January 1930, Independence Day was observed with the national flag being hoisted in different venues and patriotic song being sung. Okay, so in from every year, 26 January, the all the people of India they celebrate 26 January as as an Independence Day. Okay. Now Lahore session decided to start a civil disobedience movement under the leadership of Mahatma Gandhi. So again in the Lahore session, they decided that we start the civil disobedience movement, but under the leadership of Gandhiji. So here in this session, this Lahore session is that is very important because first of all in this in when this was held, that was held in December 1929. Who was the president? Jawaharlal Nehru, who was the younger person on that time. Okay, which decision they were took? They decided the Purna Swaraj or complete independence, and after that, every year they celebrate 26th January as an Independence Day, and the third decision was that to start the civil disobedience movement as a mass movement in the whole country. Now, the civil disobedience movement or Salt Satyagraha or that Dandi March, okay, that all things are the same. The civil disobedience movement started with famous Dandi March, one of the most widely disliked law in the British India, which gave the state a monopoly in the manufacture and sale of salt. On that time, the Britishers, they had this monopoly that to manufacture of the salt and selling of the salt in the India. His speaking on the salt monopoly was another illustration Gandhiji tactile wisdom. Mahatma Gandhi announced that he would lead a march to break the salt law. For in every Indian household, salt was indispensable. It means that was very necessity thing for each and everyone. Maybe the rich or maybe the poor, all the one has this. That was the need of all the people. Okay, yet people were forbidden from making salt, even for domestic use, compelling them to buy it from shops at the high prices. On that time, the Indians, they had no right that to make the salt, even for their domestic use, not for commercial, but for the domestic use, they had no right. Okay, so all the people, they were purchase the salt from the shops from the high prices. The state monopoly over salt was deeply unpopular. By making it his target, Gandhiji hoped to mobilize a wider discontent against the British rule. Now, Salt Satyagraha on March 12, 1930, Gandhiji began walking from his ashram at Sabarmati towards the ocean. He reached his destination 3 weeks later, April 6, 1930, making a fistful of salt as he did, and thereby making himself a criminal in the eyes of the laws. Okay, so Gandhiji broke this salt law. Okay, and before uh, uh, broke this salt law, Gandhiji also given the advance notice, okay, uh, of his salt march to the Viceroy Lord Irwin. So Lord Irwin failed to grasp the significance of the action. So Gandhiji uh, broke down this law. Now, meanwhile, parallel salt marches were being conducted in other parts of the country, and that one called Panur Satyagraha. Uh, the area where in the like in the northern part of our India, where there is no oceans, okay, the people they were also started the other activities. The Salt Satyagraha was notable for at least three reasons. First, it was this event that first brought Mahatma Gandhi to the world attention. The march was widely covered by the Europeans and the American press. So maybe the Britishers, maybe the America, maybe the others European countries, they also putting a keen interest on this salt satyagraha. Second, it was the first nationalist activity in which women participated in large numbers. So this was also the very important on that time that the women, a large number of the women, they were also participated in this movement. Socialist activities. Kamala Devi Chattopadhyay had persuaded Gandhiji not to restrict the protest to men alone. Kamala Devi was herself one of the numerous women who courted arrest by breaking the salt and liquor laws. Third, and perhaps most significant, it was the Salt March, which forced upon the British the realization that the Raj would not last forever and that they would have to develop some power to the Indians. Now, through this movement, the Britishers they were also understand that now the times also comes that we have to give some powers to the Indians. Okay, student. In the next video, we will continue this topic. Thank you.